fact that I just wanted to say beforehand, I know Brandy, but you can be here. But
I have 15 minutes.
yeah.
I bought myself 15 minutes.
And Rick's got to get out of here by 4. Yeah. So 30 minutes. So let's either come up with a solution or recess to another time or whatever.
So I'll make a motion to return from recess.
Okay, we got a motion to return. We got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay.
I am prepared to make a motion. I just need to take a second to get my numbers together. So if you can bear with me, I will prepare those. And so during our recess, Miranda was so kind to get the numbers for the remaining balances for the funds for court services. And that was general fund, that was their service fee fund, and that was their GPS user fees. And so adding all of those together, there are available funds of $76,561.75. One thing that's missing from these are the employees' benefits that needed to go back into this, which I thought we had voted to do that, or somebody somewhere.
We did.
We did.
We talked about it in here, but it doesn't look like the 280 was added back.
It was not added back.
But it got on budget board, right?
It's nowhere on.
It's not on here.
But
Right. I thought
do you
so.
guys recall? I seem to recall that it got on the budget board. We had the conversation at budget board and they approved moving the money back.
I
remember
think,
standing up
recall.
there
Do you remember?
saying,
Well, regardless where the money's at, I mean, it'll eventually be available to us.
right. And so
Towards that
that total, Christy, was how much?
$280,044. Even.
280,044. Okay, so if we take that 280,044 and add the 76,561.75, there should be $356,605.75 available in court services budget.
Say how much again total?
$356,605.75.
Now you said the 76 was all three added up, right?
Yes, that was all three added. That was the general fund, the court service fee fund, and the GPS user fund.
And what's the amount that we need to make team?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask yet again, because I apologize, I have confusion on that. Because I know there were two different numbers that were talked about, so I just want to reiterate that number again, Chris, if you can just indulge me one last time.
So, so the original contract was for 1.35 and change, and
Do you have the change?
yes.
914.94.
135,914.
No,
1,350,000
Uh-huh,
900
$914.
94 cents.
914 and
94 cents.
94 cents.
We will.
Thank you, Brady.
Yeah, we were appropriated half of that in the first 6-month contract. Second half of that.
So to fund the second half of that contract, you would need a total of $675,457.40.
correct.
To which we have $356,605.75. So we need $318,851.72.
To make
Yes,
up the
I agree.
difference.
To make up the
And you're
difference.
saying that is available currently in the court services account?
No.
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 Okay,
No,
that's what that's including, that's the 675 that's needed minus what's available in the court services account equals
318 cash account from reserve.
right,
Yeah.
yes.
Or something.
And so I would like to go ahead and make a motion, or do you have questions?
No, Cassie just pulled up a budget board meeting. That was,
This was, sorry,
what date? When was that?
It's right at the bottom of each page.
oh yeah, September
19.
19th.
Okay, and I don't recall that not being approved. I'm
No, it was
certain it was
approved,
approved,
but
so
it just didn't get hit.
moved.
Right.
So, Jason, can you get with your staff and make sure that that gets moved? It was approved at that meeting, it just
From the
didn't.
September 19th
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, 280,044.
What was the agenda number on that, Cassie? Is that 38?
Nope. Keep going. Nope. Nope. There it is.
The very last one,
43.
43.
So it was approved but never moved.
Okay. So, I will make a motion to make a recommendation to budget for, well, the FCC is looking at the contract tomorrow, correct? Okay. I'll make a motion to make a recommendation to budget board to transfer $318,851.72 from general fund reserve to court services, general fund, for purposes of funding the last 6 months of the contract for TV.
At the 6-month contract at the 675, 457.47.
Yes.
Okay. Got a motion second. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, roll call vote.
Yeah, so this will. So our previously approved budget for court services was 1,362,503 total. If we add this, 318,851.72, it'd be an increase of that budget of the 318,000 to get it to just shy of 1.7.
And the 318 is coming from
General fund reserve.
The 1.362, that was all sources.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We got a motion and a second, and we have a request.
Did we get a second?
Yeah, Paul.
Okay.
Yep.
Answer.
Okay. Roll call vote. District 2.
Aye.
Clerk.
Nay.
District 3.
Aye.
Treasurer.
Aye.
Court clerk. No. Assessor.
A frustrated yes.
Sheriff. I'm a no. Is that 1, 2, 3? Is that 4, 4?
4 no's.
Motion fails. Any other motions? Is somebody gonna talk to the jail, like what was talked about earlier? See if they can come up with I guess it would be the
Would that be a
308.
recommendation from us to have the chairman or one of the commissioners approach CJA?
I'm not comfortable approaching
I know you're
CJA
not.
because of how adamant my office is
No, I
against the increase. Not that I wouldn't if this group wanted me to, but I just think there would probably be somebody, more appropriate
Yeah.
to do that.
I'm with you.
Is it appropriate to ask the question, if by getting the money from the jail, does it change one of the 4 no votes?
Would fine.
Same.
And like I said earlier, I can't say whether it would change my.
Again, if the answer is no, then
Well, then we can look at alternatives. I mean, we can't just, I mean, so what happens if, and I'm not picking on anybody in particular, but what if if the jail trust or the DA's office or, our our contract provider here, or any other contract provider comes back and says, your cost is going up $500,000. We don't just, I mean, the default to, well, we have to say yes. There's no other answer. I mean, that's just, I don't buy into that. I mean, you have to have other options.
what's the alternative and say, nothing gets done in the next
We can
2
look at,
weeks.
we can look at
send
a,
700
we
people
can look
back to
at,
jail.
well, no, not
No, we do it
necessarily.
3 months.
Yeah, we could look at doing a month to month, or, I mean, there's other options. So under that scenario, what if we have a contract provider that comes back after year 3 and says, it's gonna be $1.5 million more? And we just say, well,
I understand.
what else are we gonna do? So. Well, it sounds like at least one of the no's might be a yes if the jail trust could come up with the 318,851.72. Sounds like that's what the number is that would be needed so that the overall expense doesn't go over the original expense. So if at least the one changed from no to yes, then that would be enough to get a recommendation out of here. Jason, do you want to go talk to him?
What's that number?
$318,851.72. I really think it's unrealistic to think that they're gonna just give us money.
I mean, from a jail perspective, if, so let's say that the jail were to not come up and say they were gonna give us the money, and then what happens when they get fully staffed, the detention officers?
Right.
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 And again,
I mean,
essentially, we're not asking to give us 380,000. We're simply asking to drop their ask on one or more of their.
Well, no, we'd be having to lower the amount we send them every month. We'd be sending them less money.
Right.
Is how we collect it.
I mean, there is a reason that we schedule our BET meetings a week and a half ahead of the regularly scheduled budget board meeting. When is regular budget board meeting is still next Thursday, right? I didn't know if there was a change because of the holidays.
Yeah, the 20th.
So we do have time to have another, to either well, I guess we could just recess this and not have to have another special, but and we got time that we could recess and come back prior to the December budget board meeting. I mean, I'm happy to do that.
Yes or no?
But again, I think Paul's question is valid though.
Yeah, it's good to move on.
Whoever said that, they say no, then what? I feel like
well, I think they already said no.
Sounds like it.
So if that's the case, then.
Wait, when did we find that out?
That's what we've been told.
It didn't,
What's on the next?
Miles had that conversation with Joe.
Okay.
He's just had a conversation with Joe.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of this conversation.
Is it all ball?
Apparently the money has been spent. Anticipated to be spent.
All right.
PBA got any money?
Who?
PBA.
You think our office is a no on this?
Well, it has to benefit the trust, not for outside contracts, right?
Well, it has to benefit the county,
Like,
so, but, yeah, but generally that's what we utilize that.
Alright.
Yeah.
It exists for the benefit of the county.
But so I
So
guess
did we, this is today, Tuesday.
Last I checked. Getting close though.
Reconvene Thursday.
So if we do that, I mean, again,
We'll just cancel.
What would change?
right, what would change? And so, I mean, like,
Need to have some conversation, probably not.
okay. I mean, so. I mean, again, like, I can say from my perspective, what our office is that the fact that it just went up. So if there's, so if, I'm a little confused, at least from the other two no votes. I mean, I think District 1 and Sheriff's Office are kind of clear, but I'm a little confused on why does it matter where the money comes from if your office is fine with an increase, regardless where it comes from. Going back to my position earlier, because the bottom line, I mean, mathematically speaking, it's all coming from the same county general fund. Whether we send it to the jail first and then they turn around and send it back to somebody else. Do you follow what I'm saying? The premise is still the same. The cost has gone up. So my point is that I'm a little lost on why you would vote no for it coming out of general fund reserve if you're fine with the increase in general if it came from another office that county's already funded. You follow what I'm saying? I'm a little confused.
I follow what you're saying.
The source of the money is irrelevant.
Well, the
It came from
other-
the county to begin
Why
with.
is that irrelevant?
Because the county already sent it out anyway.
But the other accounts roll back their money at the end of the year, and the trust doesn't.
Right, but you see what I'm saying? So next year,
No, I see.
We're still gonna have to
I think there's a-
so next year, instead of sending whatever that amount is to the trust, we would have to send 1.7, or I mean, the total contract, I guess is what I'm saying. Because again, I think we have to act on the premise, or at least historically we've acted on the premise that the jail is going to be fully staffed at some point. So if that's the case, then we're okay with the increase. I don't, maybe I'm overthinking that, but
And I still wish for world peace at Christmas time.
this reminds me of the time when David Hooten made a motion and then he turned around and made the opposing motion just to get off high center. One of the best movements. I don't know where to go.
I don't remember that.
I think coming back Thursday, unless we think somebody's going to change,
Budget board, we got handbook, line, like.
Not this Thursday.
We do have him. They, be clear, they have a handbook this Thursday, not me. I'm doing that for Joe if he's watching.
Chair.
He will be sitting, not me.
What time is it?
If any of you ever thought there was a worse committee to sit on than this one,
That's it.
it would
This is
show
a
up
good
in, but
committee. I don't think this.
people complain.
People just,
Not people around the table, but people that, have to watch and stuff.
Well, we are always supposed to be a working group,
That's
full blown minutes.
Oh, back in the day.
We had fun. Hands of brownies. That might have been before you. Were you around?
No, back in the executive session room on the first floor.
Oh, that was long.
We had the chair that was broken, and it was like, who's going to get the broken chair every week? Remember that? Sit down and
I
fly
gotta head
backwards.
out too, so let's.
Thursday's not a good day.
What about in the morning?
I can't, if you have another special meeting here at 10, it won't be very long, but
So
I don't know. I
I'm
can come on
kind of-
Friday then. Well,
I'm kind of tracking what Brandon's saying though, because I know from talking to Joe that if we're over the 1,362 total expense, that, we're going to be
It's
no.
not a matter of just
Right.
not wanting to go over. Now we're talking about a matter of where the money's gonna come from.
Well-
We are gonna go over, it's just a matter of where the money's coming
No, like I said, if it was the jail and it was the conversation about this is all part of the carceral expense here, I could talk to Joe and maybe, but it sounds like that's not even on the table. So now we're talking about other funds coming into it, and he's told me explicitly that the answer is no from our office standpoint. So whether we, just get done now or come back Thursday or Friday, my vote isn't going to change.
So,
So
here's the
but if
reality.
one of the other threes might, then it may be worth it to come
Here's the
back.
reality, you only have to have 4 votes to pass it on, but
That's not.
It has to be
No, you have to have
majority.
5.
7 or
you
8.
still gotta have the constitutional number?
Yep.
Oh, that's.
so let me just ask this real quick. So if we go to the Criminal Justice Authority and they say, yes, we'll absorb the rest of this year. Right now, that's only half of 145,000 at this point?
We'll still
No, it would be the 318, 851, 72 to keep it to where it wasn't an increase.
That's still the same number.
Yep.
Because they need 675.
Well, right. But to Jason's point, I mean, if the jail isn't willing to absorb what you want them to do, where would you want the money to come from?
I don't know the answer to that question today.
And what other options are there? Conceivably, there's one option, unless I'm missing something.
Rick, take PBA out of your mouth.
I mean, is there, Christie, is there another option besides the reserve?
Unless there's some social services. And then it moved, but I think that was, I don't even know those numbers if there even is.
I mean, I would like
I know
to.
we had
I'd like
to leave a good
Check.
578 or something for farms.
Jessica to see if something has changed since she met with us months ago. What's happening? If
What?
they're doing-
What,
She didn't mention any numbers. She just said that there was a position they would be willing to forego code. And to help offset.
that District 2 would be willing to forego a position?
There's
Well, she's on her way down
318
here, so you can ask her, because this is the absolute first I've heard this. But still, I mean, that's a small part.
Oh, I know it is.
I mean, a very small part.
It's always-
I mean, with what we have right now, with all 4 parts of this, with the MIS, the DA, the jail, and team, is there any mechanism that would get us back to the original numbers so that we would be an 8-0 vote? Or is that just entirely out of the question at this point?
Say it again?
I think it's entirely out of the question at this point.
You'd have to get at least one, if not multiple, of those 4 to adjust their cost to get in line with what the county cost was when the county was internal.
I mean, because the team contract just by itself was just under what we had. But you add the other 3 components on top of that. I mean, you'd have to get rid of all 3 of the other components. I mean, that's just not.
Yeah, that delta was like 11,000.
Mhm.
And 6 cents.
Chris, can I ask you something on your budget? You had a position for leadership and development. What is that?
So that's the portion of time that Jamie Patterson, who is the person on our staff that is certified in best practices and has the certification. We actually have 3 people on our staff right now that have gone through the training and have achieved the national certification certificate. Jamie is one of those individuals. She staffs all of the advisory committee meetings. She staffs internally, trains the other staff members, so that's a portion of her salary. It's a portion of the salary that I would spend on this contract, on these services, and a portion of the services that our CFO spends in billing.
Okay. And what was the 30,000 in incentives?
Bus passes.
Plus,
Yeah, and I know it's late, I got your answer. We have spent today on incentives. And we buy it twice a year when they go on sale 2-for-1, just so you know, we're maximizing everything that we can. We have spent to date, 20, we have spent on incentives 29,100.
How did you get you through the year, because you only budgeted it.
Yeah, so the reason we buy when we can, so that we can double our purchase. Twice a year, they go on sale 2-for-1. You can buy.
So that's an expense. It wasn't a 12-month expense. You were able to do it in the first 6 months.
We will have, yes, so we built the contract out for the whole year, knowing that we were gonna spend that much in the first 6 months. We did.
Would your software, your new software, be the same thing? You've already purchased that.
We have spent on software and getting started $17,290.51 so far.
What is that?
I don't have that. Yeah. I don't think I have that. Maybe I do. So 37,000.
I'm gonna have to go too. I hope you have enough people to adjourn. I'm sorry, I have to.
Yeah, we'll have enough to do there.
Let me know if you recess.
All right, we're obviously not gonna get a yes today because 2 of the yeses just walked over. So are we, which also, since their yes is a recess to another time, isn't necessarily going to determining whether it's beneficial for us to do one or not, because that's not one of the votes that needs to change. So, so that doesn't hurt that discussion. Is it worthwhile to recess and come back?
Won't know till we come back.
Okay. Then do we have a motion to recess?
Item number 9, yeah, the
language isn't sufficient for what is needed.
So recess until when?
You wanna do 11?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that I can do everything.
30 on Thursday?
She said something about lunch.
That was on Wednesday.
Okay. The Thursday.
I'm pretty sure.
It'll be cutting close. Can we do 11?
Got CLE that whole day. I'll just switch it to,
Friday, I'm open.
I can switch it to webinar instead of in person. I just need to remember to send them an email.
What day you talking about?
Thursday.
11. I think is what we're looking at.
So Thursday anytime is good because I have to see it.
I'm out at 1:30.
11 work?
Here, enjoy the party.
11 works.
All right. So do we have a motion to recess until 11? Did you say 11? Or 11:30? Sorry, 11?
I didn't see.
11.
You said 11. Okay. Motion to recess until Thursday, December the 12th at 11 a.m. in this room. We We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Wait, who?
Paul was the motioner. Mr. Nelson was the seconder. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. We're in recess. So there's a, Cassie, can you please send a